Welcome back to another edition of Coffee with the Mayor, where we keep you updated and you stay caffeinated. So that's the plan. That's always the goal,
That's the
right?
goal.
We welcome you back. And we are so happy today to have with us Senator Mike Fagg from El Dorado, who is our state senator that represents us up in Topeka. Really super glad you're here, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
Honored to be here.
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got Matt Stiles here. And as always, he's the one that keeps this whole program grounded, which I appreciate because, the mayor sometimes flies off into other areas. And then Matt's very good with his butterfly net at reeling me back in.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah. So that's very good. Senator, this is obviously your first time on the show. I know there's people out there that would like to learn a little bit more about you in particular, a little bit about your background and what you do actually in your role as a senator representing Hillsboro in this area.
Thank you. I'm a lifetime resident of El Dorado.
Okay.
I was in community banking for 47 years and retired right when COVID started.
Yeah.
And that's for a whole nother session. I can tell you about that. But to kind of give you an idea of who I am, I got 3 daughters, 4 grandkids.
Okay.
I'm married to my wife for 50 years in May. That's my high school sweetheart. Right now, I'm a full-time senator. And I don't know how you can do this job and have a job. I just worked out my mileage deal and it was 10,900 miles.
Wow.
Last year. So you're out trying to do things and listen to people because I represent you guys. So.
But, we talked a little bit with Representative Mike King, who was on our last episode. It's really tough for people to get into that state government because, from a financial standpoint, you're only getting paid for what, 3 months out of the year?
Well, and
roughly?
they bumped that up this year.
Okay.
But it's still not enough to support a family. So
Yeah.
sometimes I know there'd be people that could do a better job than we could, but they have a family to support.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about some of the committees and some of the things that you're on there in the Senate.
Sure. So I've just got through my 5th session. I did not go through the House, so I'm not House trained.
Okay.
Representative
Funny.
King would tell
That's
you
funny.
that.
That's funny.
And so right now I'm very fortunate because I start my day off at 8:30 in the morning, and now this is in committees of ag/natural resources. And then at 9:30, you go to financial institutions/insurance.
Okay.
At 10:30, you go to Ways and Means for an hour and a half. At 1:30, I'm chair of utilities.
Yeah.
And then at 2:30, you go to the floor. So when you're a chair or vice chair, that's kind of a big deal because you really represent the whole Senate when you go into conference.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be 6 people there. And so you're kind of the guy that gets to get in that conversation. So there's a lot to learn from that. So so you got people want to come talk to you all the time.
Sure.
And
Like us, we can't.
Yeah, that's right.
well, and so my assistants kind of learn because I only have her during session. I've had times where I'm up there at 6:30 and I leave at 9:30
Yeah.
because you're catching. I don't have time during the day.
Well, sure. Yeah.
And when you got bills that you're looking at in each of those committees, it takes time to do a little research and talk to some people and see what's going on. Being chair of utilities, it's my job to make the agenda every day. So
Wow.
put that in the middle of that.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so the days go fast and some days you forget which day it is. That's what
Yeah. I can imagine.
but I enjoy it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that we do every time is we do something called the mayor's mug shots. I always start first, and everybody
Well, let me
knows
guess.
that the mayor's in the mayor's mug is coffee flavored coffee. Whatever they've got that's black and came out of the drip maker, I'm pretty happy with. So today we've got some Bolivian coffee, I believe,
Okay.
that's in the mayor's mug, and it's
Okay.
pretty tasty.
Pretty good.
Mike, how about you? What do you got?
Well, first of all, we're in rhubarb market.
Right?
Correct.
True?
Yes.
And I want you to tell you, I am absolutely impressed with what you have here. The place is full at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yep.
It's a unique place that everybody needs to come visit. That's what I would tell you. So when I went up to look at the different things, I'm usually a black coffee guy, but
Mhm.
I ended up picking shot in the dark.
Nice.
So I'm trying to do something a little different.
Sure.
You learn something new every day. It's really good stuff.
That's
So,
like super coffee flavored coffee, though.
It is.
It's just an espresso shot put into a cup of coffee.
I'm trying to remember, but that may have been what Mike King had when he
Well,
was here as well.
That feels like
that
a-
may
that
become
feels like a state legislature.
Kansas legislative body special.
well, I seen him
here at
this
Root
morning. He's probably still got some after effects.
Yeah, nice. That's
Oh,
good
that's
stuff.
funny.
Yeah.
And Matt,
I,
I think
yeah.
you changed it up a
I
little
do.
bit.
I-
I heard you up there.
I'm not as predictable.
Right.
So I change things up every once in a while, and this time I actually went with something completely different. It is a pineapple Palmer cold brew. So if you're familiar with an Arnold Palmer,
Yes, I am. Love
very, very good iced tea lemonade. This is pineapple lemonade and cold brew coffee, which sounds a little strange, but it's
Pineapple
actually really
lemonade.
good.
I mean, shouldn't that be like pineade
Pineade.
instead of pineade?
Pineapple.
Where's the lemon in that?
We got to workshop that a little
Okay.
bit. You might be right.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's actually really good.
Well, very good.
I'm pleased with this choice.
So I got a toast to working together.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we go.
Boom.
You guys, thank you
Cheers.
for what you do for this community. Is what I want to say.
Right back at you, Senator. You're chair of the Senate Utilities Committee, as you said. You
Yeah.
set the agenda. So can you share a little bit about your vision for the future of energy infrastructure in Kansas?
Okay. So I have been to, there's 17 national labs in the United States. I've been to 2 of them.
Okay.
One is on small nuclear reactors and the other one's on batteries.
Mm-hmm.
And we could have that on another
Yeah,
station.
that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Next month, I am going to Anchorage, Alaska for the Energy Council.
Okay.
So what happens with that is there's 14 states that come together, and every 6 months, 2 senators and 2 reps go to this. And they have speakers. They decide what the top 10 hot topics are in the United States. And then they go out between sessions and go out and pick up speakers for these things. So it's very up to date. And I love getting around an Oklahoma rep or a North Dakota senator, building relationships. You know,
Yeah.
Mayor, how that works. Sure. You might have something come up that we're really wrestling with in Kansas. I can call somebody up and say, well, Senator, what are you doing up in North Dakota about this?
Yeah.
Doesn't have a dog in the fight, and you can get good information. So it's all about getting information. So
Okay.
what I see, this is very complex today. I don't have to tell anybody that.
Yeah. That's not
And
good.
Washington was going one direction and got totally 180 the other direction.
Right.
So we're kind of in this period of time. I do not want to be a leader in this kind of thing. I want to be one that if somebody goes out and tries something, we're going to watch them. Because in Kansas, we only got 2,900,000 people in a big state.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be very careful and frugal with what we do and understand exactly what direction we're going with that. So I'm always looking for cost-effective ways and service efficiency, how we do this. I'm a big believer in all of the above. I'm a believer in tax credits should be out of the picture.
Okay.
That needs to stand on its own
Yeah,
because that thing can shift around so much.
Yeah.
So you look at reliability, affordability, and sustainability as your 3 things out of the
Right.
Bible you should work on. So like on SMRs, there's like 7 or 8 different models out there right now. And the guy that was telling me, he said, Mike, we'll be down to 3 one of these days. So I don't want to be on one of them that's not one of the 3.
Right, exactly.
So you get into that kind of stuff.
You don't want to be on Betamax.
No.
It's a
No.
superior technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those of you that may not understand that acronym SMR stands for small modular reactors.
Yes.
It's the nuclear technology.
Nuclear reactors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a thing in the future. The question is when.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Well,
right now it's the cost and the regulations
Right.
that's really kind of slowing that down. So
Well, yeah, as Lou was talking about when we were kind of getting ready here, that we've been using small reactors in the Navy for decades, right?
and submarines.
Submarines, so aircraft here, so the technology's there. It's just
Right.
we can't
Yeah.
afford it because we're in the billions of dollars with the capital B when you start talking about
Yeah.
making one of these reactors. So it's not like little Hillsboro is going to go out and
Well,
Not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
That-
Tomorrow. Maybe in the future.
and they could pull up an 18-wheeler out here
Mm-hmm.
and supply electricity for this city.
Yeah.
The problem is the only person that can afford that is the military.
Correct.
Right.
So
Correct.
that's kind of what, but
Or
this,
remind ourselves.
this national lab is working on this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just kind of see how this develops and what happens
Yeah.
with that. So,
Well, a lot of people fear nuclear technology has been one of the drawbacks as well as the
Mhm.
cost.
uh,
Has been kind of people's fear of it. But you look in Kansas at Wolf Creek, for example, and that's been a huge benefit for the state of Kansas and in particular for Burlington, Kansas.
Yeah, they've done.
Right there, look what it's done for that.
that was one of the poorest counties in the state at one time. Did you guys know that? You look at what it done today. So that shows you what
Yeah.
industry can do for your county.
That's true.
Absolutely right. So, what are some of the things this issue comes up? I think it's sort of generationally important, probably younger people. Medical marijuana, right? So, what are some of the key kind of talking points and conversational pieces around medical marijuana in the state of Kansas? I know we're behind that. Everybody around us has it. So, what's your take on that?
What's my
Senator?
take? Now, you guys will laugh at this. That's not on my committee. I told you my committee.
Right.
I got a call last fall that said, because I didn't have anybody run against me, thank God. That gave me time to go out and meet people and not be trying to politic things, but
Sure.
to actually go out and learn things.
Mhm.
I got a phone call that says, Mike, would you chair a joint committee on medical marijuana? And I said, well, who did I make mad?
Yeah.
So I put it together and I thought it was a good deal. And if you go look around out there, you can see on kslegislator.org, those 2 days of testimony, and there's some good stuff in there. So they gave them something to build on, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when you look today from that 2 day of testimony, I learned more about medical marijuana than I ever wanted to know. That's what I would tell you.
Yeah.
But in that, the police don't want it, police association.
Right.
The doctors don't want it, doctor association. So you got these kind of things flying around out there. But then you've also got, if my dad was at home dying of cancer and he thought this was going to help him, I wouldn't mind him having it. We're
Sure.
talking medical marijuana. So,
Yeah.
so you kind of, this whole 2 days went through proponents and opponents on this issue.
Yeah.
And it's more complicated than people realize when you listen to all this. So if the federal government changes, because I seen something about 2 weeks ago,
Yeah. They were talking
where they're
about
kind of going to be
rescheduling.
talking about it. If they change this, that could be a whole different game changer that we would be looking a lot careful at that.
Yeah.
And we still might. I went up to Utah for the energy climate bill, and the senator sitting next to me, I said, you guys have specialty pharmacies up here. And I said, I'd like to see one of them because there's like 10 of them in the state. They regulate them very well. And he grinned at me. He said, Mike, there's one 2 blocks from here, and I'll set an appointment up tomorrow.
Okay.
So I go down, because this is the way you go kick the tires on this stuff. And you
Sure.
like to see what's working. I go down there, and it was a decent building, kind of rough part of town. But I was shocked. I was in there for about an hour. I went in, gave my driver's license. I walked in. You thought you was going into a bank because there's like 3 lines of teller people. But the other thing I'd want to point out too is that there's already marijuana in Kansas.
Mhm.
It's you can go get a prescription on it, synthetic. It's called Marinol's one of them. There's 2 others.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So if you say I need medical marijuana, we do have that. At least in that case, you know what you're
What
What-
you actually
what
get.
you actually
yeah.
get.
Yeah.
So that's kind
Okay.
of where that's at. That's funny you brought up medical marijuana.
Right.
'Cause I got trained on that one as far as being a chairman.
Yeah,
of the company.
you're the expert here.
Well, I don't know.
know.
But it was fun going around digging out who you can get for proponents and opponents, and
Sure.
Everybody seems to have a pretty strong opinion on it, one way or the other. I haven't met anybody who's like, oh, I don't care, but
yeah.
everybody
No,
seems to fall on.
I think it's what the bill says.
yeah. That was written.
That's where I would come down, because they say, "Are you for it or against it?" I'd say, "Show me the bill."
Let's see
And
it.
then
yeah.
I'll tell you where I'm at.
Well, yeah, free for all doesn't sound like that works out real well.
No.
But something so tightly controlled, and
Yeah.
I was at the APPA convention in New Orleans this summer, and Lori and I went down to Bourbon Street, to kind of check it out. And this was actually late afternoon,
The mayor was kicking the tires.
Yeah, he's kicking the tires.
Well, no, what I was doing was was smelling this burning alfalfa,
You're like,
down there, and I'm going, where is that coming from? And I just finally looked across the street, and there was a building that had the windows boarded up. It says dispensed, medical marijuana dispensary
Yeah.
being built, and I'm guessing that the workers were inside trying some of the product.
testing it out.
Yeah, testing
Quality
some of the
control.
products
Quality.
before they opened the doors.
Huh,
I don't
okay.
know, but man, it was pretty potent. Anyway, I don't know what we got out of that.
Yeah.
But,
Well, the
Anyway.
marijuana, let me say that before we go on. In Kansas, we're probably too tight on marijuana. I mean, if you're found with it and the kind of penalties you get for it, we're probably too tight.
Right, yeah.
But the other thing I worry about is this Delta 8 and this kind of stuff.
Oh,
You
right,
see them
yeah.
everywhere.
We just had
And
things-
I don't know if we supervise that enough. So I think we're too tough here, not enough here,
Yeah.
but that's my.
No, we just dealt with that over at the convenience stores, and here in Marion, they were selling THC drinks or something like
Yeah.
that, and so then we had to get the KBI involved, and they said, "Oh no, those are illegal," and then they pulled it off the shelf.
Yeah.
But it was a whole thing for
But you had to point it out.
Yeah,
we had
There's
to, law enforcement did.
couple news cycles.
Yeah, I got a couple news cycles out of it. Sold some
Yeah.
newspapers, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a strange thing, and I think clarity is the hard part because we get here in Hillsboro, we have a lot of students from Tabor who come in from out of state, and they may come from a state where it's
They do.
totally legal.
Yeah.
Totally legal, and so they are confused sometimes when they come into Kansas,
Yeah.
and little Hillsboro, Kansas, that the rules are different, the things are different, and so we do have there's an educational
Yeah.
curve on that. So
Yeah.
for sure.
consistency may be the trick there.
For sure.
Yeah.
So again, last night at our city council meeting, we kind of took another, what I would call one of our last stabs at our upcoming 2026 budget, and we're pretty excited that we're going to be able to offer some savings on our. We're actually going to reduce the mill levy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
and we're excited about that. And but we're doing it in a way that maintains the services that we provide without
awesome.
getting
Getting too deep into
getting too
yeah,
deep into
yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
But part of that balancing act in this year's budget is we are looking at now. Give me the right acronym for the police and
Oh yeah, KP&F for police.
We're looking at KP&F going to that system. Because I'm leading up to my next question. There is a
I
question
know you are.
coming.
Mayor. I'm trying to get
Okay.
ready for
So-
you.
Brace yourself.
But the point there is that pensions do make a difference, and I mean
Mhm.
it used to say, and if you were in public life working in a public environment like
Yeah.
the city, you didn't make a lot of money, on a take home basis, but you had a good retirement benefit, and that has gone through several iterations over the years at the state level. And so I guess the question is, we know that there are challenges, to the state's pension system, to capers, if you will. And, so what are your thoughts, or what are you proposing that we do to help address those issues facing capers right now?
Money does not grow on trees.
It doesn't.
No, I try to. I hope my wife doesn't watch this because but I would tell you on state pensions that we didn't fund that for years. So we're trying to pick up a mess here. Right now, it's $10 billion unfunded liabilities, largest unfunded liability we have in the state.
Okay.
So we used to have a 1, and they said we can't afford it, so we went to a 2.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't afford it, so we went to a 3. And then you had people standing up there wanting to go back to a 2.
Right.
It's going to cost us, I think it's 100 million, it's a big number.
There's a lot of
When
money.
we already got $10 billion unfunded liabilities. So that was kind of, and then you got the police and fire that kicks into that. The judges got the golden calf.
Yeah,
as far as
that's a
I'm
pretty
concerned.
sweet deal for them.
And so I feel like that we need to be working on that unfunded liabilities and paying down on that. Because every session there's a line of them up there that's wanting to do this or that. And a prime example, you used to get $4,000 when you die to go toward your funeral expense.
Oh, right.
Well, they wanted to move that to $6,000. Well, you go figure out how much the cost of that is, and it just keeps adding to that. And I think just having that basic product of what do I get at retirement is important.
Mhm.
And my job is to try to make sure we got it when you get there.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So
Right.
so it'd be interesting to see with this 10 billion showing up, how people, unless we want to raise taxes, and I don't know, I haven't found anybody who wants to do that.
That's the thing that we have found, at least I found in the 8 years of being mayor here in Hillsboro, that nobody wants to pay more, but nobody wants you to do less. Right? Nobody wants
That's
to
why
pay
you get the big bucks.
That's right.
That's right, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mayor gets about $300 before taxes a month. That's the mayor's.
I got $100 per month when I
Yeah.
was mayor of El
Yeah.
Dorado.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Somebody telling me pay taxes and all the donations you make out, it costs you money.
Right. Yeah. Well, believe it or not, I didn't even realize the mayor got paid.
Yeah,
when
you're
I
not
ran
in
the
it for
first
that,
time.
are you?
I wasn't in it for that.
Yeah.
That was not what it was about.
Sure.
And it still isn't what it's
No.
about. But yeah, so it's always that balance of figuring out how to pay for things we've obligated ourselves for, and maintain control of that budget and not have it just explode in your face and be running deficits all the time and figuring out how you're going to pay the bill,
Yeah,
which is where we're at federally.
yeah. It is.
Thank goodness we're not there locally because we
Yeah.
have cash. We have a
Cash
cash
basis,
base of
yeah.
law
Gotta have money.
says we can't spend more than we
Can't
take
spend
in.
what we take in.
You can be very proud of what you do.
Yeah. So I mean,
Balancing.
that is something to be proud of. But it just order of magnitude it gets tougher. As you go up the line.
Yeah.
Well, let's flex your local government cred. Much respect. You're the mayor of El Dorado. How long were you mayor of El Dorado?
That's been a couple years ago,
Sure.
but I'm thinking it was like 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was a commissioner.
On the commission.
Yeah, and one thing you kind of learn about being mayor is I was working in Andover and mayor of El Dorado.
Ah.
And if you've got a business in town, that can hurt you.
It can be
I'm
problematic,
telling you,
yeah.
Because when you make a decision, this guy's going to like it, this guy isn't.
Right.
He's going to forget it tomorrow, and this guy's never going to forget it.
Right.
And all you're trying to do is do the right thing for the city.
Right, sure, right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I've been there, and I say thank you for your service.
Yeah. It's kind of a merit badge when you get it.
Yeah, it
really,
is.
truly.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah, you're also fifth generation Kansan?
Yes.
Lifelong resident of El Dorado, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And my dad come to El Dorado with city service, which was oil field
Okay.
right.
at
Oh yeah.
that time, and he
Sure.
was in agriculture in eastern Kansas. Him and three brothers
Okay.
and grandpa. So
Okay.
it's kind of interesting how that all works around.
Mhm.
Yeah. You
But,
must like it. It must still be nice if you're still there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you get to know everybody, and
Right.
Sure.
in this new job, I'm meeting a lot of great people out here. Sometimes all you know is this.
Right.
Well, we can be proud of a lot of good
There's a
people
lot
in
of good
Kansas.
stuff, yeah.
I got the best Senate district in the state. That's what I'll tell you.
Well, I think
Well, we
you're just
agree with
flattering-
you.
You're just flattering us now. I think is what that is.
We 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
What made you pursue that career? I mean, as part of what drew you to that public service piece?
I was in about every civic club. I was in banking.
Sure.
At that time, the bank always wanted you to be out involved.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I've been in Lions Club, been
Lions.
United Way, been the Chamber. And, this being on the commission, just kind of common sense things. They was working on an issue one night and I was watching TV and I thought, that guy needs some help up there. Because sometimes when you don't get paid very much, the reason is why are you there? Why are you there?
Mm.
And I'd say my reason was I just care and I want to try to keep common sense in what we're trying to do. And so you kind of put those two things together and care about where tomorrow goes and this kind of thing. And sometimes you have to do the right thing today to make it right for the future.
Yeah.
I think you kind of alluded to it. There are people that do get involved because it's an issue-based thing.
Yes.
And I know this is going to sound derogatory, but I sometimes refer to those people as one-hit wonders. I mean, you've got one issue that you're very, enthusiastic about, but there's a lot more than one issue that goes on, you know.
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, you know, picking one thing, you know, as a reason to run, I would discourage anybody from doing that. I would say you have to be big picture focused. You know, you really have to want what's best for the community. And sometimes that's going to be making some
Compromise.
compromise. That's
There
the
you go.
word. Thank you. You know, you have to compromise, and sometimes you have to compromise on things you really want. But in terms of the big picture, the overall picture, you know, it's the right thing to
It's the
do,
right thing to
you
do.
know. So when you're speaking with folks in Topeka or Washington, you know, what's one story or piece of history you'd like to share that makes you especially proud? Because you mentioned this is the best, you have the best Senate district in the state. You know, what makes you especially proud to represent us?
When I got into this, I always felt like God played a part. I had the 10 counties that was southeast of El Dorado, and now it goes northwest. So Hillsboro's kind of in the middle of that.
Yeah, we're new.
So I come by here all the time,
Right.
is what I would say. But it's kind of different about the demographics. We got 2 refineries in here.
Mhm.
The big part with ag. I can say the smaller towns around here, you can compare that to any place in the state, that they're out, they care about their communities.
Mhm.
As I look around, you're just kind of faith, family, and community is alive and well in Hillsboro, Kansas. That's what I would say. So
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I get a pretty good sense that you're into building legacy. Both of you talk about building a legacy and doing what's right and doing those things. So what kind of advice would you give somebody who's a young Kansan who wants to get involved and interested in civic engagement? What kind of advice would you hand them or tell them?
Well, I can tell you what I've done to this point, and I feel like it's been the right thing to do, in my opinion. You know, if you start out with volunteerism and community things that you can do around, that's kind of a first level kind of thing. Don't be afraid to get in and run for commission, kind of thing. If you want to, you kind of walk up a ladder here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I got that phone call because I was mayor of El Dorado. So you had a little bit of history to what you was doing as to how you'd vote and how you felt about things. So listening is a big part of that. Don't think you got to be the leader. I think a leader comes from the back seat. I'd rather you get the credit. All we care about is getting the job done.
Got to get it done.
And you get more pride in that when that happens.
Right.
Don't you, Lou? On this kind of thing.
Absolutely, 100%. Now we're to the point in Coffee with the Mayor where we play a little game. And every time, as we talked about before we got started today, Callie, and with her massive amounts of creativity, comes up with something unique every episode. And so I'm excited because today we've got something she's called Prairie Punchlines. So what I'm told is that she's going to give us each some cartoons with no text or anything around them, and we're to put our punchline or our highlight for describing what we see on that piece of paper. Okay. And then we get to share with the viewers what we've come up with. So we're going to let her pass those out now. So we'll take a break while she does that, and then we'll come back once we have prepared our punchlines. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
I think we're back, and we've all captioned the cartoons that Callie's given us. Well, I'll go first just to break the ice, and then we'll let Mike and Matt go. But here's my cartoon. So we've got a couple standing there. He's all got his winter garb on and looks kind of cold, breathing out a little frost there, and she's standing there with the sun above her and sweating and so forth. And so my caption is, "That's Kansas for you. Wait about 1 second and the weather's going to change." That sound about right?
Yeah,
That sounds about right.
That's about right.
Okay. Well, Mike, let's see what you got.
Oh, okay. So this was my picture here.
Okay. Giant
Big ball.
ball
And
flying.
So what I put to it is somebody had a lot of time on their hand.
Yeah.
There's So that's what I did.
Classic.
Very good. That's good.
Classic.
All right, Matt.
All
what
right,
you got?
so my first one here is I've got this traffic jam here.
Okay, you got a tractor.
We got a tractor, a pirate
Pirate
ship, an alien, and
and a
just a
car.
regular car at a stop
Okay.
sign. So
All right.
my caption was, Carlac knew it was going to be one of those days with all these weirdos.
Yeah. Good one. Very creative. All right. Well, final round here. We've got what appears to be Amelia Earhart, the luggage tag.
Oh, yeah, there you
Amelia
go.
Earhart going through the security checkpoint.
She does not
You know,
caption.
going, obviously going somewhere. And my caption was, I hope this pilot knows where they're going. Oh, that was
Taking
maybe
a Amelia Earhart shot.
Yeah. Well, what can I say?
Why
We're still looking
Why
for
not?
it.
Okay, so this was my picture, and the stuff in the background kind of threw me, but I really like this part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I put was cowpoke heaven.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect. Okay, so my last one was I've got what appears to be a T-Rex skeleton enjoying a cup of coffee at a diner. So my caption was, nah, that coffee is like tar. Ah!
Good one. You know, I know this wasn't a contest, but I think we're going to give the creativity to Matt.
I'll second.
We'll give the snark to me. I'll get
Yeah.
the snarky.
You got an Amelia
Snarky.
Earhart shot.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty good.
That was yeah. And Mike, you
Solid
played right
performance
along.
all the way around.
Yeah,
Tillman.
for sure.
I think it was great.
So, you know, again, Mike, we're so thankful that you were able to join us today for Coffee with the Mayor. This is an opportunity for you to plug social media or how you like to have folks get a hold of you. Now, I know how you like to be gotten a hold of, but maybe you'd like to share that with the folks here.
Okay, I just had a newsletter go out. It went to everybody that voted.
Okay.
So it was like 24,000, I think. In the
Well, that's
district.
pretty good.
I represent 75,000 people.
That's
Just to give you a
nice.
feel of that. But what I really like is if you have something come up, if a group of you's got the same idea, maybe one of you call. But at any time, call me. My number is 316-377-7987. This is my office right here. So I'm happy to talk to anybody.
Sure,
I'm
yeah.
here to serve. That's what the deal is. So.
But
So-
you're saying you'd rather have somebody call you
Right.
than
Than an
email you.
Because I've got some really good emails. And I think I cannot do them justice with
Sure.
the email they got. Because I've had days where I've had 100 emails.
Oh yeah.
So I could just full time doing emails. In those 5-minute conversations, you
Yeah.
can kind of back and forth and
Mhm.
they'll stick with you.
Get a little more out of
So
it.
call me, don't email. That's what I would say.
Also, the information about what's going on in Topeka at the legislature is, do we know what that web address is for people?
It's legislature.org.
.org.
And if you go play with that website, you'll be very pleasantly, it will tell you everything
There's
you'd
a
ever
lot.
want to know on every senator, every rep, what committees are on, every bill that we had last year.
Favorite food,
Yeah,
blood type,
and
all that
everything.
stuff.
But,
It's all in there.
but it doesn't have on there what I got in my bottom drawer that I didn't want to run.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
But it is a very helpful website.
Yeah.
That's what I tell you.
Okay.
Very good.
It's very detailed. I
It
would
is
say
very
that they do.
detailed.
Whoever does that with the legislature does a great job.
There has to be a team to do that. I would say.
It's got to be at least 10 people.
Yeah.
It seems like.
So, as always, people can connect with the city through our website, through
Yep.
Facebook, and watch episodes of Coffee with the Mayor. The new episodes always drop on the final Friday of the month, unless it's a holiday like Thanksgiving. But we actually can be found on YouTube and Spotify. Callie's got us on Spotify, which makes me pretty excited because I think we're right up there next to the Kelsey brothers in terms of podcasts. I think it's I think it's New Heights and Coffee with the Mayor's right there.
Getting closer to you,
Yeah.
I feel like. I mean, it's every episode we just
Well, I
get a
wouldn't
little
be
closer.
surprised.
You know,
If it isn't, it should be.
It's
well,
be,
and
right?
you know, if we can't get Taylor Swift,
Wow.
we're going to take Mike Senator.
Well,
Mike.
that's a distant
That's
second.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
no. I think you play well.
Yeah.
Play
Yeah.
well with that demographic. You got a new album coming out, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, until next time, Hillsboro, stay updated and caffeinated, and we will see you next month on a new episode of Coffee with the Mayor.